Welcome to Eye on Paulsboro. Remember, we have another special show. We got a chance to visit with the team from Rutgers University who is looking at Paulsboro residents, taking blood samples associated with our municipal water, which of course now has all been straightened out. But you remember a couple of years ago we had an issue.
Yeah, we're fine, John. My mother lived to almost 100, born and raised in Paulsboro, drank Paulsboro water because she said the bottled water was stale.
How do you like that? Enjoy this piece, very informative. You'll want to consider getting involved. It's for everybody's good. Enjoy the interview.
Multi-policy discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro. For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back to Eye on Paulsboro. There's always something going on in this 2 square miles. Our next guests are here for an important reason. Not that any other guests aren't here for important reasons, but the Rutgers School of Public Health, part and extension of New Jersey's world-class state university, Rutgers University, has set up shop in town and are in process of assembling people to participate in a study to understand details associated with chemicals. And of course, you know, we live comfortably nestled between 2 oil refineries. So we are a perfect group to study because we are a contained community and we know where the water table is. We know a lot of things. So if anyone's going to do a study, probably not a bad place to do it. But that being said, I mean, I'm obviously brushing over it. Let me welcome, I got to look at the screen. Their names are on the screen, which is perfect. We're going to welcome Carrie. Carrie, your last name is Butch. Do I have that correctly?
Yes.
And Robert, your last name is Lumbach?
Lumbach, yes.
Okay, I'm never good with last names. I got pretty close on both of them. So which of two, which would like to start? Maybe a gentle introduction and just let people know who you are. So who'd like to start?
Rob, go ahead.
Thank you.
I guess
so,
Robert's starting, Carrie. Yeah. Go ahead, Robert.
Thank you. So as you mentioned, we're from Rutgers State University up in New Brunswick, the School of Public Health. And we're doing this study about an issue that goes back a few years in Paulsboro, the water issue from around 2013, 2014, when well number 7 had to be shut down because of these PFAS chemicals, these per and polyfluorinated alkyl substance. It's a big mouthful chemicals, but we refer to them as PFAS. And the one in particular in Paulsboro that was a problem was PFNA, or perfluorononoic acid. Even I have trouble saying it.
Yeah, I think the PFNA is pretty good.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So as people in the town know, that well was shut down, and that was the only source of water at that time in Paulsboro. So people had to drink bottled water, and people couldn't drink the water for, I guess, approximately about a year or more until the water was filtered. So 2016, it was filtered, and it's been filtered since then. But these chemicals stay in the body for years, perhaps even decades. And they're called forever chemicals. Like they don't really leave the body very quickly, and in the environment, they don't break down. And so not only are they forever chemicals, which everyone has in their blood today, everyone throughout the world, really, they've pervaded the whole world. Not only do they stay in the body for a long period of time, but they also cause health effects, or there's evidence for health effects in almost every part of the body. But these health effects are not proven. They're not really all that well established. And that's why we need to do this study, because there's evidence for health effects to the kidneys, the liver, the reproductive system, the nervous system. There's even some evidence from a couple of studies that there might be a risk of cancer. We need to learn more about that. So we're looking for, along with the CDC, who's funding the study, and other sites across the country, we're looking to Paulsboro to help us to learn more about the health effects of these chemicals.
And Carrie, is there something you can add to that? And I want to just throw some general questions for both of you to just answer, very layman questions.
One of the things, we've been in Paulsboro now for a couple years. So this is Rob's first study as a PI, but we also worked together on a study that was done by Dr. Judith Graber, and we have assisted with Dr. Cliff Wiesel's study also. But we've been in town Rutgers has been in town for a couple years, and there's been some previous studies, which is why we got funded to do a bigger study. This study is it's a pretty big study for a community the size of Paulsboro. We're going to try to have 1,000 adults and 300 children participate. So that's going to be a decent amount of your community. We're hoping that everybody gets involved and wants to participate. So
what does participation mean, and what's expected of people who would be willing to participate? Because I'd be willing to participate, but what does it mean?
So I guess I'll answer that. It's basically having a blood test for PFAS, because we can measure it in the blood. This is a test that normally costs $500 to $700 typically, but it's going to be offered as part of the study. That'll give us the level of PFAS in people's blood, and not just the PFNA, but also 20-something different PFAS chemicals. And then we're going to ask people about their medical history and ask them to get permission to get verification of medical diagnoses from their doctors. And then in that blood sample, we're not only going to measure PFAS, but also thyroid hormones, liver function tests, kidney tests, other tests that your doctor might perform normally, as well as additional tests. The idea is to really test the function of, again, many different organs in the body that we think might be affected by PFAS. And I don't want to alarm people, that, PFAS definitely causes, terrible health effects at the levels that people might have, in Paulsboro, but we just don't know. And that's the point here, is to learn that. And then people will learn their PFAS level. And as we learn more about the effects of these chemicals in the future, knowing your PFAS level now might be very valuable, in the future, as well as the fact that we're going to give people their results back, at least some of the results. Again, the results that are relevant to health, going to give those back to people so they could take to their physicians. They won't get those back right away. It's not like sort of we're going to do a checkup and give you your results right away, but within a few months, several months after the test is done, we're going to give people their results. So they'll get that also. And then they get a small stipend, or a small, what we call participant fee of $25 for the blood test, $25 for the medical history. And then another part of it is children starting at age 7, through 18, will get a test of, we call a neurodevelopmental sort of tests of memory, tests of executive function, we call it, right? Sort of how people make decisions and so on. Because we think from other studies that these chemicals might affect that. They might affect things like ADHD, hyperactivity sort of disorder, for example. And again, these are all effects that there's some evidence for, but we really don't know for sure. And that's why we need to do these types of studies. Um,
Bob, let me tell you, my parents would have looked for an excuse about my circumstances a long time ago, had we had any sense of this sooner.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And you made a very good point that, this is not a study that's supposed to cause alarm to people, because I get a sense that this chemical is in a lot of things. I'm drinking out of a plastic bottle of water at the moment. So this, as much as this sort of seemed new to people, I guess this stuff's been around, right? This is not, and I guess the feds have yet to establish a number. I mean, so all this stuff is new, but
Right.
It's new.
Yeah, since the 1950s, it's been used like in Teflon, in the manufacture of Teflon, for example. These chemicals were used in making Gore-Tex. They were used in making Scotchgard. They've since been taken out of those products, but they're what we call now legacy chemicals that are just everywhere in the environment. They dissolve in water very easily. And now there's over 4,000 of them, though. So the older ones have gotten replaced by newer ones. And the idea was the newer ones hopefully are safer, but we're still trying to catch up on the older ones. We're still trying to catch up on the legacy ones. And so our study really is going to focus on these legacy chemicals, but it does tell us something about the newer ones also.
And I'll ask this, and maybe Mary Carey wants to jump in. I mean, the first question would be why Paulsboro? And can you isolate? I mean, obviously you're going to do blood tests, but we live in a heavily industrialized area. We live in the Delaware Valley, which is a containment area as far as how airflow moves and how pollution reaches us from different places, and coal burning plants still in Pennsylvania and those sorts of things. So why Paulsboro? And is there enough isolation that you'll get what you need?
Paulsboro was selected because of the concentration of PFNA in the water that was found. And you are absolutely correct. It is an industrial chemical. So they are finding it everywhere, and they are finding it mostly a lot near military or any kind of industrial sites around the country. We're a part of 8 communities that are being studied. So it's not just Paulsboro that it's been identified, but there are communities, Rob helped me with this, but throughout the country, right? There are
Thousands,
Pennsylvania.
yeah.
We have Colorado, we have California, and we have a whole list of sites throughout the country that we're partnering with. So that's what's interesting. I mean, we're making a commitment. Rutgers is making a commitment to come in to Paulsboro, and in addition, bring a value added. So we have a heavy community participation, community engagement piece, which is what I'm doing in Paulsboro with Rob. So we're hoping not to just bring a test and a research project to the community, but also bring researchers and environmental health scientists that know about all sorts of environmental health issues. So if you want to use us, we'd like it if there are teachers in school, and we've already talked to the principal at Paulsboro High School. If you need to work with researchers, or if you want to do a specific environmental health project we'd love to partner with you. So we've been on the ground talking to community folks. We've created a community advisory panel, which does involve the schools as well as some alumni from the schools, as well as some church representation. So we have a nice crew of people that are helping us and advising us on the study. The one thing that's difficult is that it is a prescribed study, so we do have to do certain things. But the other part of it, the engagement, where we do it, with who we do it, I think there's some flexibility.
Well, and so I guess the next obvious question is, people watching this, if you haven't already made contact with them, I mean, how close are you to filling your ranks of what you need? And if there's still room to get into the study, how do people find you?
Well, I think you guys are going to have us on the screen, our phone number on the screen. You could also contact us through, I'll give you my cell phone number, 732-982-6942. I'm working with the community piece. Just briefly, we're going to do a pilot portion of this starting in May through June. We're going to try to get 20 people to volunteer so that we can do a pilot. We're setting up the office on Mantua, right next to the deli, right next to the Monster Factory. So we have that set up. We'd like to do 20 people in June. And then once we realize that we're the experts at this and we can do this and everybody feels comfortable, we're then going to kick it off in the summertime. So expect to get a call from us or a knock on the door, or again, we'll be back on your show to get everybody in the door. But Rob, did you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that's right. We've been delayed due to COVID, and now we're hoping that as COVID is hopefully dying down, that people will be willing to come out and participate in the study. We're doing everything that we can to protect people from any risk from COVID. So we have a nice, well-ventilated space there on Mantua, and we're going to be filtering the air and wearing masks and again, trying to protect people as much as certainly we can. And again, recruiting or getting 1,000 adults and 300 children to participate in this study from a small town like Paulsboro is going to be a challenge. But our understanding is that back a few years ago, as part of a legal settlement, 1,300 people did have their blood tested for PFAS. So one thing we're going to ask people to bring those results with them, because that can be very informative in terms of how levels are changing over time. But that gives us some encouragement that people, if we can help to get them engaged, will come out for the study.
Very good. And again, welcome both of you. We have great trust in the State University of New Jersey in its approach to these kinds of matters. Not getting it sent to anybody should lose any sleep tonight, but I would say to people watching, you should consider getting involved. I mean, I'm willing to get involved. I'm a little bit afraid of the intelligence test and that particular metric. But I would say to both of you that when you finally do study this as a group, you're going to find Paulsboro to be a very interesting place and interesting people. I'm not sure what you're going to find in the end, but I think you're going to leave here saying that's an interesting place. So, and I hope that the study is helpful, because as we better understand these things, we can be better prepared to deal with them. In a world that's very tricky, as both of you know. I mean, this stuff keeps coming. As we learn more, we learn more. Sometimes you got to wonder if we learn too much, but we got to just deal with it heads up. And that being said, I'm going to thank both of you for joining us. Look forward to meeting you in person, and do good work because the results are going to help people, which is a wonderful thing. We will be right back, and consider getting involved in this test. You can do your part.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks. Thank you.
Multi-policy discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, master mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and rug doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
So anyone from the age of over the age of 6 is eligible for the study, and they have to have lived in Paulsboro between the years of 2005 and 2014. And the reason why we're stopping at 2014 is because that's when the water was treated. When the wells were shut down and then the water was treated. So that's why our cutoff is 2014. And the reason why we're going back to 2005 is because of the chemicals. They have something called a half-life, which is kind of how long the chemical is in your body. Half of the chemicals are in your body. So because of that, we're going from 2005 to 2014. It's really important for us to do this study because these chemicals are becoming something, the contaminants are everywhere at this point. So we really want to find out what kind of health effects are caused by these contaminants. And because it's becoming such a worldwide issue, we're seeing these contaminants everywhere now. You come in, we're going to do the COVID protocols, getting your temperature, getting you a mask, and sanitizing your hands. Then we're going to have you check in, go through a consent process, and then we will take you for a questionnaire if you're doing it that day. The questionnaire also can be done on the phone prior to the appointment. After the questionnaire, or if you're not doing the questionnaire, we're going to take you to get your body measurements. And then after that, a blood draw. And then if the child is here, we're going to take them to do the neurobehavioral testing. So that's pretty much the process from beginning to end. And at the very end, we're going to be administering gift cards. So it's a total of, it can be up to $75 of gift cards. It's $25 for each component of the study that is completed. So the children are going to be participating in neurobehavioral testing. So they're basic questions. Like, it'll ask the child to kind of do something. For example, like point to an animal or something. So it's like a very simple neurobehavioral test like that. It's not going to be anything physically demanding for the child. It's going to be very code friendly as well. And so it'll be like little tasks for the child to do like that. So and these are validated instruments, meaning that they have been tested and have been shown to kind of give us an idea of what the child might be going through. Some ages might be going through a few more tests, and other ages might be going through with less, but generally it's going to be the same tests. What happens is, after we kind of go through the process of, like, we're taking urine samples, blood samples, and after all of that, analyses are going to be done on the blood samples. Again, this is kind of a beginning study, so we don't really know much about these chemicals and what the health impacts are. Our office location is at 541B Mantua Ave. It's right next to the Monster Factory and the Hometown Deli. And it's really a great big space. You can kind of see behind me. We have a really big office space, so there's not that concern of being in a very close confined space. And also another great thing that we have is we have air filters in the office, so we have them running. So if there's anything in the air, it's going to be filtered out. And it's a really great big office. We have different cubicles set up for different sections of the study. So every part of the study is going to be kind of distanced as much as possible. So my role here is I am the coordinator, and the office manager. So I'm making sure that everything is running smoothly in the office. I'm making sure everyone feels comfortable with what we're doing. If they have any complaints, I'm making sure I'm addressing them, making sure that we have everything we need to get the study done, and really just be the person here in the community as well. Not just doing office activities, but I will also be helping with, hopefully soon when we can have some community activities, I'll be out in the community and showing my face and things like that.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
Century Savings Bank is presenting $10,000 to the Tinicum Lighthouse. You guys, I'm gonna step out.
Let's get rid of the real check. Might blow away. You ready? Happy faces. Check and take a picture? Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah, one.
So we got Saturday morning, they're lined up, and then Sunday night all the way back here to the...
It's a fun day.
It's okay if you're late, no problem.
She had the shortest distance to get here, comes the latest.
Okay, right there, look happy and not cold.
Oh yeah, right.